Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Podstarz Team Podcast. It's your boy Jay, and I am here with a very talented lady who checks more boxes than I can possibly even explain. A better question would be, what don't you do? So what I will say is her name is Keldamuzik. She is a singer, a songwriter, a host, an actor. She's got a clothing line. She does a podcast. I mean, I don't know how, there's 24 hours in a day. Apparently you're working 22 of them. Well, I don't know how you sleep, but welcome to the show. Welcome to the Podstarz website, and welcome to the Podstarz Team Podcast.
Hello, Jay, Podstars. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
No,
I'm a huge fan of Podstars. Let me just say that first. And
thank you.
thank you for promoting people such as myself, to the public, to the masses. This is a great opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, our goal at Podstarz is to make sure that everyone who wants to be a podcaster and has a passion and a dream, they don't let that dream die because their show gets stale. Our website, like you, just because you're a sports podcast, you don't have to stick to sports. Go on the Podstarz website and book someone like yourself who checks a lot of boxes, have a very entertaining show, bring some people to your show, and keep that audience, keep that momentum going. So, someone like yourself, there's so many podcasters who could book you if they're a singing podcast or music podcast
Right.
or whatever. Like there's so many different things they can talk about. So I'm glad to have people like you who have so many different things that they offer the podcast community. So let's get started with obviously you've been a singer for a long time. I'm guessing since you were a little girl singing in the shower like everyone else in the world. Some of us have talent, some of us don't. I was one of those guys who has zero talent, so I don't even know what it's like to have talent. So when did you realize that singing was going to be the thing that brought you to new heights?
Yeah, so I would say when I was 16 years old, that's when I started just writing. Just writing and writing poetry first, because I'm a lyricist. And so I'm all about words. I'm all about deep thought. I'm all about promoting, passion and just being strong through my words. And so as an artist, that's when I developed myself and started working with different producers, and working in different studios to get a feel of how engineers work, like the difference between a producer and an engineer, and being able to collaborate with other artists. And gosh, like, yeah, it was 16 when it all first happened, and everything pretty much took off from there.
That's, I mean, it must be nice to know that you have that talent in your back pocket, and like you can go to school and maybe study to be an engineer or whatever, but you always know that you have that talent, and to push yourself to the level where you go to the next level with that talent must be very exciting. I would imagine. So at
Oh
what
yeah.
point did you realize that this is going to happen and I'm going to be a professional and take this all the way?
Yeah. So, yeah, between like the ages of 16 and 18, that's when I was trying to sing and obviously, write all my own material. But it wasn't until like I turned 20 years old, and that's when I started rapping. That's when I turned my passionate singing lyrics into hip hop.
Okay.
And I feel that, when it comes to hip hop, that's the best way that I could express myself. Just like you have um, uh, artists who sing pop music, R&B, country, classical, you find your niche
Okay.
where you know you're really good at it, and people will respect you for it. And for me, that's when I recorded my first album when I was 20 years old. It's called Shut Up Listen. And to me, I feel like I was bringing hip hop back, with real lyrics, with really hard, heavy hitting beats, and just kind of picking up where Foxy Brown and Lil Kim and Left Eye and the Brad MC Light picked up where they left off, because at the time the industry was dry when it came to female rappers. You know what I mean? So it was really hard for me, because anytime my team and I would approach a label, first thing they say is, well, what is she selling? What is she talking about in her music? You
Mhm.
know, people just didn't know what to do with with the female rapper. They didn't know how to market or promote or do PR for a female rapper. It was always about male rappers.
Right.
And so that's why, like, I take my hat off to Nicki Minaj, because when she came out, she really like took all the bullets for all the upcoming female rappers, the ones that are out now. You know, she went through the struggles and the challenges and, you know, the opinions and the negativity out there to really create a platform for us. And so now it's just a wave of female hip hop artists in the industry. And really, it's a wave of Black women in the entertainment industry now. You see more of us on TV, you see more of us on film, commercials, plays, voiceovers. And so it's just like the door is opening up for us to just really thrive now in the entertainment industry. So yeah, that's when I started to take myself really seriously, when I recorded my first album. And next thing you know, I'm doing shows. And, you know, at first it started with artist showcases, you know, where you're doing free shows, open mics, you know, and eventually when I booked my first paid show, it's when I said, okay, this is reality now. This is becoming real. This is what you're going to do for a living. And as I kept going, the market slowly became oversaturated, and now you know everyone is getting younger and younger and younger, and you're only getting older and older, and so you kind of have to keep up with what's coming out at the time. And so that's when I said, hey, you know what, I'm going to expand my brand. I'm not going to just, you know, be a music artist, but I'm also going to host a TV show. And the TV show is going to be like a promotional vehicle for myself, for my brand, to network with others, to collaborate with others, and also to promote others, because it's all cross promotion. So that's how I came about with Diva Talk Tonight, which is streaming on Tubi. There's 12 episodes that you guys could watch. And gosh, I've just been doing so much ever since then. And
clearly.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm a music guy. I'm 45. So I grew up during the Death Row Bad Boy days. Like that was the main stuff for me, right? So
yeah,
when the female rappers were like the biggest thing, I feel like when Death Row kind of went by the wayside, Bad Boy went by the wayside, I feel like there was a window where there really was no female rappers. And I think
right.
you said Nicki Minaj, I think that was kind of when she brought it back, because
Yeah, exactly.
there was a lot of like, there was like a Black Eyed Peas and stuff like that. Like you'd have female
right, Fergie, and
yeah, you have great like talents, but like there wasn't one person. So
right.
You fell into the window between the two of them, or did you like that's where you were, right?
Right. So actually before she came out, you know, I was probably in the same situation like her and many other female rappers, where, you know, it was just a struggle. It was just a time where it was dry. It was, yeah, Bad Boy was gone. Like you said, Death Row,
They
No
all just
Limit, all those
disappeared.
guys.
All the women just disappeared.
Exactly. They did. And then next thing you know, Wayne comes out with Young Money, which is, you know, a label under Cash Money. And he's promoting his first female rap artist. And, you know, she's groundbreaking. You know, she's not only talented and beautiful, but, you know, she has charisma. You know, she has different voices. Her lyrical wordplay is ridiculous, you know? So it's like, whoa, once he put her out, you know, it didn't necessarily open the doors for all of us to become on her level, but it opened doors on an independent level where everyone wants to include a female rapper now in their showcase. Right. Everyone wants to include a female rapper on this track or on this tour or just whatever project. And that's what kind of pocket I fell into. And that's when I started getting booked to not just perform so much, but also to tour overseas, to where you know, I'm touring in Tokyo now, because they don't care who the female rapper is. They just need to insert female rapper here from America. You know what I mean? Yeah. Who's doing their thing, who has, you know, a little lightweight buzz. And then next thing you know, I'm getting booked in the Caribbean 3 times, you know, and I'm just like, oh shoot, like damn, this is really just like a domino effect right now. And again, it's all on the independent level. And during that time though, there were a lot of other labels in development that were trying to become similar to Young Money and put out their own female hip hop artists, but they also found it to be very expensive because we're females, you know, we have glam first and fashion and
You can't
just a
just throw
whole
on a
bunch of other
baseball cap and
things.
a jersey and go out there with a mic
E-
and just kill it, right? You have to like put your
exactly.
face on, like get yeah, I see.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a little difficult, you know, that was a little difficult part, but gosh, like the more Nikki kept blowing up, the more she was out there. That's what opened the door for a whole bunch of other female rappers, and which is why you have, you know, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Lotto, Glorilla, all these girls, and they're all super talented, you know. But just Nikki laid down the foundation for everyone else now to actually be on her level.
And my daughter just went to her show in Toronto. Although she was a little late, she said
Yeah.
that she made up for it by, I think she
Uh-huh.
walked in the door at 3 in the morning because getting back,
Whoa.
but that like
Mm-hmm.
she really like gave back. You know, she was up there for over an hour and a half and she
Mm-hmm.
killed it. And my daughter came back with a massive smile on her face. So, it's good to
Oh,
see, the young ones see their idols, and see
yeah.
and become home happy, right? Like I had a couple of
Yeah.
music experiences back in my day where I was like, man, I just got ripped off, man. Like that that was not a good show. So it's good to see the other side of that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll tell you one concert that I went to where I was just like, it was just jaw dropping. Janet Jackson's concert. It was like in 2001, I think she came out with like the Velvet Rope album, I think. And you know, my mom was supposed to go with her friend, and her friend couldn't come, so she was like, Kelda, come with me to Janet Jackson's concert. And I'm like, I don't feel like sitting in a concert and being around a whole bunch of people, you know what I mean? Everyone's screaming over you or whatever. But I went, and damn, Janet is just, she is amazing. She's a phenomenal woman. And I to know all those dance steps, to be up there for 2 hours, just dancing and dancing, it's like being an artist is a sport, you know, just like we watch all of these Olympians right now, right?
Hmm.
Same thing with being an artist on stage. It's a sport, and and you enjoy watching someone perform their sport. And when I saw Janet, that's exactly what I thought of. I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? This is her thing. So man, yeah. It's just, yeah, I definitely felt like I got my money in times worth.
So as an artist, and because of the business that I'm in now, I come
Hmm.
across a lot of artists, and we have a lot of off the cuff conversations. And a lot of the things I
Hmm.
hear from musicians are is the talk about Spotify and Apple Music, and how it's
Hmm.
kind of destroying the way that artists can really make money, provide for their families, something like that.
Hmm.
I mean, I've heard some rough numbers of what artists get kickbacked, and it's disgusting. So, as an
Hmm.
artist yourself, how do you feel about the Spotify, Apple Music situation? I mean, as a kid, I remember going into what we call HMV or Sam the Record Man or Sunrise
Hmm.
Records down here, picking up 5 or 6 CDs, dropping $130.
Hmm.
Nowadays,
Hmm.
for 9.99, you have access to every song that's ever been made in the history of the world. How do you
Right.
feel about that?
Yeah. It definitely puts a hole in your pocket on that side of things. Just because really, you know, everyone's technically listening to your music for free. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
And
1000%.
and and you're only getting, like, now Spotify has a new rule that they implemented where um someone has to stream at least like 60 seconds or something like that of your song in order for you to monetize off of that. If not, someone's technically listening to your song for free, even if it's not the whole 50 seconds or whatever. They're still listening to you know, half the first verse and maybe the hook or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just really a subscription service. Maybe if it was a little bit more, like, you know, maybe if it was, you know, 49.99 a month opposed to, you know, 9.99, maybe artists would be a little bit more satisfied because now, okay, we could actually make money off of this. But the way that these streaming sites are now, they're really like, just breaking you off small change to where, when you get paid every quarter, it's not, the check is not as big as it used to be.
And
So
it doesn't make you guys struggle extra hard, right? I mean, like, because now you have to find different ways to monetize because you're
yeah,
not getting that
yeah.
kickback from what you've done. I mean, I saw a YouTube clip with Snoop Dogg where he laid it out. He's like, I used to sell, 8 million albums or whatever and make this much money.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
get a 20,000 streams and I'm getting
Yeah.
like $8. He goes, What's going on?" And you
Yeah.
couldn't be more right. I mean, it seems like they've taken everything that you're working for, that everything that you're doing, they're taking it and they're just throwing you guys breadcrumbs. And
Yeah.
it,
That's
it
what,
must it
yeah.
must be extremely difficult to be an artist and just live. I mean, basically, I guess I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't depend on streams alone. That's for sure. Nowadays, a lot of artists, we're making our money off music placements, music licensing, music syncing, and uploading our music to music libraries, to where people are going in there and they're purchasing one song for $49.99 to use in their video games or YouTube videos or TikTok
Gotcha.
videos.
Gotcha.
So that's where a lot of us are monetizing now. And then obviously shows and influencer deals, endorsement deals, and collaborations with other artists. But that's like, it's kind of like that's where it ends, and that's why
Right.
a lot of artists now are dabbling into other aspects of the entertainment industry, such as acting, hosting, voiceovers, investing in sports teams, NFT, um, uh, stock, right? Just a whole bunch of other things now because we have to find ways to make this a lucrative industry for us since we're kind of sort of being robbed a little bit,
Right. You have to widen your
and
net.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And what's the saying? Create several streams of income, right? So it just doesn't stop at music anymore. It's a whole bunch of other things that you have to have going on to really stay on top.
Makes sense. It makes total sense, and it sucks that you guys got to kind of deal with this. But hopefully one of your songs gets picked up for like by Marvel to put in Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, and like
Right,
then you just
right.
blow up all kinds, right? I mean that's the dream, right?
Exactly.
But like
Yeah.
even if you don't have to worry about the Spotify thing, I guess you guys will kind of have to worry about what's going on with Ticketmaster too. Like I would assume that like
Oh yeah.
you don't know what Ticketmaster is doing behind your back. I mean, if your tickets are
Mm-hmm.
$5 for front row and Ticketmaster boots it up to like, $600, like
Right. But
people
you're
are
only
not going to come
collecting.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to come see your show for $600 when I know that face value is only 85. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you, it's a struggle for you guys on all levels, right? Like it's
It
crazy.
is.
Like
Right. Like
there's not an industry in the world that has to go through more hoops, I think, than musicians right now.
yeah. Oh, definitely. And honestly, that's why, major labels are struggling. I read articles every day from different journalists, different writers about how the music industry is suffering, not just artists, but the labels now are suffering. They have to do massive layoffs because hey, an A&R is not really needed anymore. The artist is her own A&R. The
Yeah.
artist has her own management team. We're just the label who's providing a loan and our resources, and that's about it. We don't need all these extra people anymore. And so everything's downsizing, and that means the wallet is downsizing.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
this is $1 billion industry, but I don't think it's gonna be worth $1 billion for the artists or even the people working in it anymore. It's going to be for the executives who are releasing the music, and they're not even quite happy or as happy because they're just it's a dent in the wallet now. So again, that's why if you look at artists like 50 Cent, right, he branched out and has a partnership with stars, to where he's producing content now for a major network.
Yeah.
So he's seeing a different new aspect of the entertainment industry, and he's seeing different kind of money
Right, right,
because the on the music side, the money's very slow right now.
right.
So and just imagine what independent artists go through. Someone who is someone who's a new artist trying to get their feet wet and really put themselves out there. It's kind of just like, good luck, you know what I mean? Unless you
Yeah.
have a massive budget to put behind ads and placements on different media outlets. Other than that, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, and I think the music industry itself is going through a bit of a change now because, like,
Hmm.
I know it, like, I can't speak for America, but because I'm here in Canada, but right
Hmm.
now, what's really blowing up here is country collaborations. So mixing
Hmm.
country with like EDM or mixing country with
Mm.
hip hop, that's kind of
Hmm.
thing, like Jelly Roll. This guy is just
Yeah,
blown up, right? And
yeah,
this is
yeah,
this is one of those stories, like Jelly Roll. Like, this is a guy who did prison time, and then he gets out,
yeah,
and all of a sudden he's one of the biggest artists in the world. And good for him, man, because
yeah.
he's super talented. His music's really good. I enjoy him, and I'm glad to see that a guy who, like, was behind the eight ball a little bit, I guess you would say,
Hmm.
has taken
Hmm.
it to the next level. So this is
Yeah.
the thing where music is changing, and it changes all the time. I get you, but it seems like you never know what's going to happen next with the music industry. It's changed just so fast. You never
Yeah.
know. Like, and I'm 45, so I'm very uncool with what's hip, I guess my daughter would say. So
Hmm.
I never know what's going on unless it's on the radio. So I mean,
Yeah.
in your opinion, what do you see for the music industry right now? Where are we at?
Gosh. Oh, and you mentioned something else too, radio. Um,
Oh, I know that's tough
when it
too.
comes to right, that's tough too. There's a lot of politics in radio because now stations are owned under one umbrella, right? And so now stations are only allowed to play what the labels are giving them. It's not about anything else. No other artists, no independent artists, nothing like that. So, or even if you do get your song in a mix by a DJ who's doing like a mix hour or whatever, you're not making any money off that. You might get a
No.
little exposure, if someone remembers the song. But um, I'd say in the future, the music industry it's gonna crash again, and I think it's gonna come down to a point because I don't see how else they're gonna make it simpler to get our music. I think with the streaming thing, that's as good as it's gonna get for fans. Um, but I think they'll continue to do that, and it's really just gonna be on you. It's gonna be on the artist. Like there's not gonna be a such thing as labels anymore. You'll have a booking agent and you'll have a PR person, and that's pretty much it. And you could pretty much get somebody in the family or your close friend to be your manager. You know
Right.
what I mean? And everyone's just going to be wearing multiple hats now, and teams are going to continue to shrink and shrink. um, there are alternative type of distribution companies out there now that do distribute music like through tech companies, and that's a little alternative to receive more money or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to if you're hot and you have a following and you could pack a venue, that's how you're going to get your money. And from there, it'll become a domino effect where, okay, you get booked for more shows, and now you have a couple sponsors in your corner or whatever, or now you become an influencer for whatever kind of brand that approaches you. But it's going to just come down to just, where can I get the money? Shows and sponsorship and licensing.
And you seem to be
I
taking
Yeah.
advantage of all of that because, like I said,
Oh
you check a
yeah.
lot of boxes. So I mean,
Yeah.
you see the writing on the wall, and you
Yeah.
know that, you know what, I gotta be a woman of many talents. I've got to put myself
Yeah.
out there. So I mean, I bow down to you because there's not a lot of people who realize that I've got to be everywhere to be somewhere. So I mean,
Yeah.
congratulations, and like, that's awesome. I mean, as a fan
Thank
of
you.
music in general, I think that it's weird how when I was a kid, if I was on the
Hmm.
radio, if I was listening to the radio and I heard a song and I didn't know who that was, but someone said, "Oh man, that's Ja Rule," I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna buy that CD." Whereas
Yeah.
if I'm
Yeah.
driving in my car now, I hit Shazam, it tells me who it is, the artist is, and then it drags me to Spotify where I can download that song in 10 seconds and it's on my car,
Hmm.
in my car, and
Hmm.
y'all don't make any money off of it. Like that's
Right.
it. Just I see the writing on the wall, and I've talked to so many artists, and I'm like, I feel so bad for you guys because the talent, the passion, the hard work that
Yeah.
you guys put in, man, it
Yeah.
breaks my heart for you guys. I mean,
Yeah. And all the money that we invest,
for sure,
from
absolutely.
yeah, buying beats, buying studio time, paying the engineer, paying for extra mixing and different edits, paying for the promotion, the advertisement, paying a PR person, paying a booking person. It's just so much goes into it, and you're not really recouping all of the money that you invested.
A lot of
You
going out,
know,
but not coming in.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's why I said it's almost like you gotta pick up another job in the industry
Right.
to keep yourself relevant and to also keep the money coming in.
Do you have any great collaborations that you're very proud of? Someone that you want to big up?
Yeah, definitely. I had a collaboration with Numbskull of the Loonies. You guys remember the legendary duo? I got five on it. Uh, him and I made a track called "Excuse Me." It was a while ago, but I just remember like when he came in the studio because we're really good friends. But I
Okay.
remember he came in the studio and he knocked out his verse, I knocked out mine, and then I had a couple of other artists that I work with that came on the track, and just the way everything flowed, like we're like, whoa, this is just magic right here. You know what I mean? This is as authentic as it's gonna get. This is not like some arranged process situation by a label or whatever. No, this is me as an artist and this other artist coming together and vibing and making a really good track.
Nice. So if someone who's listening to this show right now has never heard of you and wants to like check you out, if you were to name one of your greatest songs, like something you're so proud of,
Mhm.
what is that one song that you would recommend, and why would you recommend that song?
Yeah, so my song called I Don't Care, which is from the Diva TV album. I'm very proud of that song, and actually it got placed on Atlanta Housewives right before COVID hit, which was March of 2019. And that song, it's just, oh my God, just everything about that song, the lyrics, the beat, the feature I had, the hook, everything was just so catchy, and the lyrics were just memorable. It's just one of those tracks where you'll listen to it like a Jay-Z track, or like a Ti or Ludacris or DMX track where it's like, hey, that's the anthem, that's the soundtrack to my life right now, so yeah, it's I Don't Care.
I love how you brought up Ludacris. He is my favorite hip hop art. Him and Ice Cube are my favorite hip
Yes,
hop artists. Uh,
yes.
I was just at a casino with my wife a couple of weeks ago, and in the
Hmm.
casino bar, they had a
Hmm.
DJ just spinning light music. We're sitting
Hmm.
there, and we've had a few adult beverages, so we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
I whispered to the guy because he was taking requests. I said, "Hey man, can you play a
Hmm.
little Ludacris? Can you play some Southern Hospitality?" And he goes,
Oh, that's my favorite.
he goes, it's got curse words. I said, yeah, man, but this is my song. That's my jam. That's my
Right.
favorite hip hop song of all time. That and Ice Cube's Wicked are my two favorite songs of all time.
Okay.
So I told him, I was like, dude, if I slip you a 20 when it gets a little low, when people are, the older folks maybe are out there, and he
Hmm.
put it on, and you watch the whole room change because everyone was like, "Oh no,
Oh,
is this happening right
what?
now?" Like we're at a casino and I'm throwing bows, right? I'm doing my
Right.
thing,
Nigga
right?
throw them
And yeah,
bows.
and they're looking at, and then you can see the bartender just no, this guy's cut off. Like this guy's not getting served anymore.
Right, right. You
But
said one too many.
like I love how music can like change your everything. Like you have that
Yeah.
that certain artist that you listen to if you're in a great mood or
Yes.
not
Yes.
such a great mood. And like
Yeah.
it's funny how music brings things out of you. And like that's the beautiful thing about music is
Hmm.
there's always somebody there that you can download, listen to, throw that CD,
Always.
that record in that's going to put you where you need to be. And that's the beautiful thing about music. And I think more people need to like show you guys the love and say like you've done something for me. Everyone's got that song
Yeah.
they connect with, that artist they connect with. So what you guys
Exactly.
do, man, the grind is very real. And like I like I'm very happy to have you on Podstar. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much
Yeah.
for being a part of the show. I'd love to know a little bit your clothing line. Like, how did that start? When?
Yeah. So It's called Tams. It's the berets. So it's my new accessory line. And I came up with this during COVID. You know, it was just one of those times where we all had to discover a hidden talent or a hidden, an idea that we never had time to really develop. And during COVID, it gave me that time. And I said, hey, you know what? Because it was actually my mom who started buying me berets and sending them to me, and I started coordinating them with my outfits. And I remember just receiving a ton of compliments, just a ton. And I talked to my business partner, and I was like, "What kind of merchandise can I come up with to sell to my fans other than, t-shirts
T-shirts and
and
hoodies.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want a fan when they receive this product, I want them to always think about me and to like have a certain memory, like I bought this when I saw her website. I bought this when I saw her commercial, whatever, I want this to mean something. And by coming up with a beret, no one has branded it in pop culture. No one has branded it in the Black community, and no one has branded it in hip hop. So boom, it's Tams. And because of this, I've actually been producing and hosting fashion shows now. And, those weren't even my intentions to even like really get into the fashion industry like that. I just wanted to launch a merchandise line for my fans to, to give them a token of my appreciation. And this ended up taking off. And gosh, like I just have I have a whole new audience now that I've been introduced to, and now I'm, in the fashion industry. So yeah, it's exciting and it's fun.
I mean, you took something that was like a family, uh, what do you say, like a family affair, the beret.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Hmm.
what you just said about, like the Black community and the hip hop community, the last thing you would say was beret and like kind of put those together. So
Right.
you took something original, you took something that meant something to you, and you turned it
Yeah.
into something else. And like that's awesome. Like you have that like foresight to the forecast to like got to
Yes.
give something new to people. Like I don't want just
Yeah.
like a. I think my daughter, the hoodie that she bought at Nicki Minaj was 120
Hmm.
bucks. So that's a steep price to pay after buying the ticket too. But
Hey, yeah, that's
uh,
a real fan right there.
that's it, man. That's it. So congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
is there anything else that you'd like to promote? Is there anything else you got going on? What do you
Yeah.
want to say?
Yeah, so I'm also co-starring in The Hodges, which is a comedy series starring Mario Hodge and myself. That's coming to Amazon Prime, hopefully by fall. We just completed one season so far, and shout out to A Brown Film. They produced it. They cast me in it, and it's gonna be something that it's gonna be something that's gonna be huge for sure. Again, it's coming from an independent level, but for what it is, it's great. It's great. And Mario Hodge, he's just so fun to work with. Like, we make a good pair on camera because he's a comedian and I'm an artist, actress, but like we bounce off of each other. You know what I mean? We have good chemistry, and that's not always going to happen when you put two people on set together. And sometimes you could kind of see it through the lenses, like, I don't, you guys aren't meshing well, but him and I, we just, you know what I mean?
Nice.
So yeah, so The Hodges is coming out.
Did you want to give a little
Um
teaser on what the Hodge is about, though? Is it a cop show?
yeah,
Is it like a romance? What do we got? Rom com? What do you
yeah.
got?
Yeah, it's a comedy series based on Mario Hodge as a comedian,
Okay.
just him going through his struggles and challenges, and I'm his wife supporting him. So, he's this, independent comedian trying to do his thing, and I'm his wealthy wife who supports him and flies him everywhere, pays all the bills, and both of our kids are with us, and they're always making fun of him, like, daddy, mommy pays the bills, where have you been, just little stuff like that. So it's a comedy series, and it's based off his life, because he's really about to take off. He's been featured. I need to get him on this show, as a matter of fact.
You
um
need to have him on Podstars. Absolutely, you need
yes,
to have him on Podstars.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's a comedy series, and it's, script, written script, you know what I mean, script based. And so yeah, I got that coming out. And then let's see, I was in a film recently called Inhumane. Not sure when that's coming out, but I'll announce it pretty soon on my newsletter and on social media. Gosh, there's like so many things that I have going on, but like when someone questions me about it, I'm like, wait, what?
So the best way to find out is to follow you on social media so they can see
Yes,
where you are,
yes,
what you're doing, what's coming up next.
yes.
Something else that you've branched out into, like Legoland or something. Like who knows where you're going to be next? Like
Right,
you're
right.
everywhere.
Everywhere, yes. Well, for more information, you guys could definitely log on to my website. That's keldamuzik.com, KELDAMUZIK.com. One word, lowercase m. From there, you'll see all my music videos, my latest music, my TV film projects, TAMs. You could actually purchase a TAM on there. Fellas, don't be afraid to purchase one either, because we do have 10 different colors. They're just not, all of them aren't, bright colors. We have some dark colors too. So yeah, just visit my website and you'll find my social media pages too.
There you go. And I'm sure you're very active with the people who reach out to you. I'm sure because you've got that outgoing personality, and like
Yeah, thank you.
I just feel like if I was to reach out to you on Instagram, we'd be talking like maybe back and forth on DMs, and you try and sell me a
Yeah,
brace. So there you go, folks.
yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, you're everywhere. Facebook, website. This lady has it all, folks, and she would be a fantastic guest for your podcast because she checks so many boxes. And if you're a podcaster, you don't have to be a music podcast to talk to Keldamuzik. You could talk about fashion, you could talk about acting, you could talk
Oh
about
yeah.
a whole bunch of different things. So that's what
Yes.
Podstarz is trying to do, is to have people like yourself who have so many different talents to bring something to people's shows, to get them those downloads that they need so that, like they can bring life to their show and they don't quit podcasting because that's their passion. And as a podcaster yourself, you know what it's
Yes,
like. The struggle is very real as a podcaster to get to that next level. So
for
I'm so
sure.
happy that you're on Podstars. I'm so happy to have this chance to talk to you. So thank you for your time. It's a Friday night. I'm sure you've got big plans for tonight.
Oh
I'm,
yeah.
I'm a married man with kids. I'm done for tonight. I'm going to bed after this. So
All right.
thank
Yeah,
you so
go
much for
ahead.
the time. It's been fantastic talking to you, and I'm so glad to actually see you face to face. So thank you very much for being a Podstars member.
Thank you so much, Jay. Appreciate you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, podstars.net, and you can book Keldamuzik for your podcast now. Thank you very much. I will see you on the next episode of the Podstars Team Podcast. Bye for now.